Inside the city limits?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You're listening to another episode of Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. This is the place where you're entitled to Brad's opinion. And now for your host, Brad Allard.
Well, hello everybody. I'm a little bit late. Had some computer issues. What was going on again, Taylor?
Did one of the computers just wouldn't come on?
It just
It
crashed.
said, not today.
Not today. You know, that's when you get hooked on technology. That's what's happened. But being as adept as you are, the great computer jockey that you are, there you go. But anyway, I have Chaz Forster today at the farmers market, which starts, I believe, the first Saturday in April.
April 2nd.
All right. And everybody's excited about that. That's one of the best things that Burleson does, and we appreciate what you do for it. Hello to also Sherry Step Scott. She watches almost every time. You know who she is by any chance?
I know.
You heard of Blessing Boxes?
Yeah.
Okay, she's the lady that kind of ramrods the whole thing. Those Blessing
very
Boxes
cool.
around town. Yeah, she's a real civic-minded person, a good friend of Burleson, to say the least. I mean, I go by there and people are always loading up stuff, you know, in those Blessing Boxes. So I'll have to give her a shout out when I can. But anyway, I'm going to share this with our friends on the radio station with 817 Live and with our friend Sarah over to Municipal Matters. All right. So everybody's on board. So tell us how you're doing these days.
Good.
You're busy, I'm sure.
Extremely.
Is this the
Getting
busiest
ready
time
for
of
the
year?
season. Yeah.
I would imagine. Well, we're going to talk about that whole process and some of the obstacles that it takes to put this on, and also how does one become a vendor at this event, and what you expect from them, what they can expect from you, and if any new vendors are coming. But before we jump on that, let's talk. Oh, what is this? What are you showing on the screen there, Taylor?
I'm putting the chat up on the screen, but it wants me to tell it what pictures of traffic lights.
Pictures of traffic lights. Oh, there we go. All right. There you go.
There we go.
Okay, you good? Yeah, okay, let's talk about the important stuff here. Let's talk about the sponsors. Thank you, Daniel, at CrossFit Burleson, 317 Southwest Wilshire. Hope things are doing well. Check out the webpage on CrossFitBurleson.com for the memberships and the training programs and the times and all you need to know. So thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Shandy, over at Shandy Stogstill Realty. She's going to be able to help you find a house in Burleson. In the last year, Burleson real estate's gone up quite a bit. And so if you're looking to move in this area, you better, have somebody on the inside that knows what's going on. Plus, just yesterday, they raised the rate, so she can help you with that as well if you discuss that and whatnot through her husband, Ron. Also, thank you to Rex Russell at the Russell Wealth Group, myfinancialbox.com. Thank you for all you do. I hope you're doing well. If you need to have a little guidance in all this financial market upheaval, up and down, you need somebody who'll talk you off the ledge, take away the sharp cutting tools, and and hit myfinancialbox.com, and he'll help you through it. Also, you have a couple new sponsors, Chad, since you last been here. Optavia, 817-789-1622, my friend Kimmy. Hope you're doing well. Kimmy Etheridge is who you need to talk to if you're looking to lose weight and keep off weight and maintain a healthy lifestyle. My brother-in-law uses it. I've had several guests that have used it, and they just swear by it. So 817-789-1622. And also, if you want to take Mrs. Forster out for some jewelry over at Southern Gym, I'm sure you have an anniversary coming up.
June 2nd.
June 2nd.
Yeah.
Well, never too soon.
10 years.
10 years. 10 easy, smooth years. I've been, mine is May 28th, and it's been 34 years. And so it's just been, one party after another. Anyway, fine jewelry and gems. It's on the top floor of the Windmiller building. She can design, she can clean, she can fix. My wife had a necklace fixed by her, and Robin just really swears by her service. Also inventory, very nice inventory. So Southern Gym on the top floor of the Windmiller building, and also Hot Works on John Jones over by the Kroger and the theaters and all that. Hot Works is an infrared sauna workout. Michelle Humphrey. They're all three, Michelle and Gayla Moores and Kimmy, we're all members of the same group here, a marketing group. But anyway, Michelle Humphrey at Hot Works, infrared workout, all these plans. She has staff there to help you pick a plan for you. So go talk to Michelle over at Hot Works and become one of their clients.
Fun people. They come to the market too.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Have you ever had one of her workouts?
We should, but
yeah. Well, several of
they handed out pamphlets and stuff.
Yeah. Well, Michelle, I think y'all have something in common, and that is she's a very good entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I mean, she really knows how to run a business. And I first met her when she was starting it up, and we were over at that hub space over where Camille Branson owns when we first started doing this show. And she was using one of the rooms to build up clientele and all this other stuff. And so I got to know her then, and then I got to know her through the B&I group we're in. And so she'll be out there occasionally, do you think?
Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, I'll see her next week. We meet every Wednesday, and so I'll remind her.
Put the bug in her.
Yeah. Well, and all these people. And then, of course, here we have yours. I guess the address hadn't changed.
I just said, oh, yeah, we're good.
You're good. All that
All
looks
up to
good.
date.
All looks up to date. Okay. So it's still going to be 8 to 1 every Saturday.
We got new signage this year, but I still haven't found a logo. I'm wanting to do shirts and everything. I haven't found something I'm just ready for.
Well, y'all heard it here first, guys. Maybe somebody will hear this show and contact you. And I also do know somebody through that marketing group that does this kind of thing. So maybe we'll talk after the show.
Cool.
But there you are. Well, let's just start from the beginning, okay? This is a very busy time.
It is.
When do you actually start planning? It isn't like, the Saturday or the week before the Saturday, you say, let's have a farmer's market. I mean, you probably been working on this already for quite some time for the new season.
So the first meeting we had with economic development was like January 3rd or 4th.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes through contract. They have all the underwriting and everything the city attorney does. And then it goes to city council by that first week of March. And then we get approval from there to start in April.
Well, I'll touch on that last part lightly. You can talk about as much as you want. I understand there is some conversation about the farmers market and its role in the city. Do you want to address that or just move on?
So, we're growing and we're getting bigger. And so we've got a lot of attention on us. And so just got eyes that want to make sure that we're in check and doing everything in spec with what they have set out for the plaza, which is a great deal. There's a lot of debate on the plaza, so they want to make sure that we're in line with what they're saying and everything on there.
Well, some people may have the wrong impression that basically we're just giving you the space. You pay for that space.
We do.
And what we were talking about before the show, what you pay for your square footage may be roughly the same as what anybody else would be charged for the space you use.
It is.
Okay. And so I'm not
It's
really,
very, very close.
Well, I'm not understanding what the controversy was over this that happened recently. Politics. Yeah. Well, I will say that the mayor is on board.
Yeah.
I have him on the show in about 10 days, so I can ask him about this development. The mayor's on board, and most of the city council's on board.
A lot of the council loves the market. You catch the mayor there almost every weekend, if not every other. Victoria's out there.
Right. She's on the show next Tuesday. I'm going to talk to her about that as well.
She's on there. She's there almost every week. You'll see Dan roll through. I always forget his name. The one
McClendon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget the guy who sits next to
Rick
Dan.
Green.
Ronnie Johnson. Ronnie.
Yeah.
All of them come through.
Yeah.
With their wives. I mean, it's a community event. I feel like it's the star event of the year. I mean, there's great other events that come through, the BTX Fest and everything like that. But it's a consistent free event. You're not obligated to buy anything. You can just come, look, check out, enjoy your community.
I've gone there, and I've said, well, I don't know if I'm going to buy anything. I'm just want to kind of get out and nice weather, whatever. I always end up buying something.
Yeah.
You can't help it. I mean, because there's a lot of great stuff. So I guess to put this city business, most of the city has been on board. Most of the city council's been on board. And as far as the noise, that's just noise. And we'll just
Keep chugging along.
Yeah, because everybody wants this to go on, and they don't want it to be disrupted. Because I can't tell you how many people, when I say, I'm going to talk to Chaz Forster, the farmers market, I just love it. Or when I talk about the ad rolls or whatever we had last season, we're going to have some for you this season. It's like it always elicits a very positive response, which is, I'm sure, what you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
I always thought of it more like a fair-like atmosphere than just a farmer's market. I've been to others, and they're fine. They're nice. But it always get the idea when I come to the Burleson one, it's almost like the county fair.
So we're trying to scale back on that.
What now?
We want more of the farmer's market feel. So,
I meant that in a good way.
no, I'm with you. But we want it to feel more like, stuff that is handmade or more veggies, more of these stuff that's not your everyday run of the mill. I mean, we're still going to have some jewelry vendors there that hand make it. We're still going to have some clothes. But we want, and that was a big thing that we talked about with economic development this year. This year, we're committed to 25% food and handmade items. So.
Okay. Well, a couple of your friends here, Brad Griffin, Betty are supportive of what you're doing. And how long have you been doing this, by the way?
This will be the 10th year.
Right. So this isn't something that just popped up in the last year or so. You had it well before we had this plaza.
Absolutely.
Well before any issues could ever be brought up about it. And I just, when I was hearing about this, I was like, some people just really need to get a life. But
I believe it initially started at City Market with Mary Slane.
Mary Slaney?
Yeah.
She's going to be on the show at the end of this month.
Yeah. So I think she started it. And then it moved over to what used to be Pinocchio's. Do you remember that?
Yeah, you're right.
Jamaican Summers now.
Right.
Okay. And so there was another lady that took it over for a year, and then she sold it off. And the guy who was doing it in between, he didn't have any city backing. He didn't pull permits. He didn't ask permission. He just did it.
You're right.
And so then he got out of it and sold it to us. And we started in that parking lot. We started with 6 vendors.
Right. That's where I
it was
remembered
nothing. It was absolutely nothing. I remember days when it would rain. It would just be me.
Yeah.
And we've come a long way. We were looking at 80 vendors this year. It's huge.
Yes, I remember when it was at the parking lot.
Yeah.
And, and I'd drop by every now and then because somebody'd be selling vegetables or whatever.
Yeah.
And, but I didn't really think of it as a really big deal like it is now. Now it's an event.
Yeah.
And it's, you have a lot to do with that. I mean, so tell us how have you built that business?
It's a lot of been organic growth, to be honest with you. The vendors, a lot of those vendors, they go to multiple markets. They have some markets that they do on Saturday night after they do a Saturday morning or Sunday, and they talk amongst each other and say, hey, it's really growing over here. And so it's just kind of naturally, organically involved. Once we hit the plaza, I don't really know what everybody said, but everybody just showed up. Hey, I want to be a part of this. And it's grown bigger and bigger each time.
Well, you have the amenities there.
Yeah.
That you didn't have before.
Bathrooms,
right? You got the little.
That's something basic.
Yeah, really.
That's nice, though.
Well, and you have the train there and the little heritage building that I forget the gentleman's name who operates that, but
the one on the end,
right? It has it like the old train station,
right?
And then of course we have that construction going on across from there with the restaurants. That's just going to add to it quite a bit.
It's going to be exciting. And those restaurants are on board with the farmers market. They know that we're coming in, and they've seen it. They've walked in the market. They love it. They feel like it'll bring
absolutely
ton of people through.
Sure. I mean, you go through farmers market, you buy a few things, and then you go have a little barbecue or whatnot, or go down to the Fresco's or Texas Bar or whatever you want to do. And I think this is a tremendous boon for Old Town.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand why anybody wants to raise hell about it, but there's some people, there you are. But most people, 99% of the community, I'm sure, just find it to be a real amenity to the city. One of the things they want to have in a community. You want to have that kind of feel. Now, kind of go back to what I was referring to before. You said, I mentioned it's like a county fair kind of feel, but you want to move it a slightly different direction. Maybe you got to expand upon what that means.
I'm going more towards, I want to keep it more towards farmers market. The problem with a farmers market these days is there is no farmers.
Yeah.
It's a dying breed. And with the workforce these days, nobody wants to get out there and bend over and plant hundreds and hundreds of rows of seeds. I mean, it's hard for me to do it. And I've been doing it for years.
It is a very physically taxing job. Yeah.
So that's the obstacle I'm up against. They have it what's called a European style market, which has the bread and has the jewelry and crafts, and that's more of what I'm aiming for. We're trying to cut out more of the clothing and everything, which we'll have a few. I mean, it is what it is, but we're trying to get more to jellies, pickles, but rows of them. Mm-hmm. And that's my main goal. And now that we are growing to that point, we're at the point where we have more vendors asking to come in than we have space for. So we can kind of pick and choose to what we want and what fits best for the market.
Well, one very important question. The tamale guy is going to be there.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
They're brick and mortar to me.
Really, I mean, those are great tamales.
Yeah.
And I bought, in the last season, probably bought 5 or maybe 6 tins of them, and they're just great. And so, they're one of your pillars, I guess, of your operation. But how many did you have last year?
So we started with 40. Mm-hmm. By the mid-year, we had 55. Mm-hmm. On the date night, we bumped all the way up to 90.
Okay, the date nights, I was there for one of them, mm-hmm. I believe, toward one of the latter ones. It was the day before the elections, right? You had it done like the day before because
there was one in July because the parade interfered, and then the one in October was the one we went out with.
Okay, it's October.
Yeah,
because I remember it wasn't quite as hot.
Yeah,
but are you going to try to have that number routinely that you have?
So this year we have 4. We have 4 committed to. Mm-hmm. We don't know where we're going to put them yet because mm-hmm. there are other events and mm-hmm. we don't want to interfere mm-hmm. so we can keep it flowing. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there'll be one in October when Brewfest comes back through, and then we're going to probably mm-hmm. try to do one June and August as well.
Well,
leave one open.
I have a question from Brad Griffin. If booth space is still available, can you please post a link for local vendors to sign up?
We are full right now.
You're full?
Yeah.
You have a waiting list, I would imagine.
I do. You can fill out the application on the website, and then we'll get with you as soon as we get space.
What's the website address?
BurlesonFarmersMarket.com.
Okay, so you go on BurlesonFarmersMarket.com. There's an application of sorts. You fill it out and submit it, and they'll put you in the...
no application fee, by the way.
Okay.
Every other farmer's market in the Metroplex charges a $5 to $10 application.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. Just to fill it out.
That's okay. But so you could fill it out and hope for the best. Now, you try to prevent having like 19 craft candle sellers, right? I mean, whatever.
I don't know what happened with COVID, but everybody became a candlestick maker.
Yeah. But you limit it to 2 products.
I limited it to 2 products. And even with that being said, for example, on the candles, it's got to be a different style. Mm-hmm. It's like, let's say this one's wickless and this one's not. Just for the sake of the argument, they've got to mm-hmm. be 2 different things to have those kind of products in there.
Some big fan of yours named Shelby has posted the link here.
There you go.
Okay.
Good go.
Yeah.
My favorite.
Your favorite, huh? Okay. So, because you don't want to have multiple duplications. It's not too different than what I do with sponsors. I've had a couple of people say, hey, I'd like to sponsor your show, but I already have somebody that does what they do. And I'm not going to compete with somebody that's already an established customer, so to speak.
It pollutes the market. I was telling my wife just the other night, I said I should just do
it dilutes the market?
Yeah. I mean,
right. That's what you meant to say.
Right. I was telling her just the other night, I could just have a market just of candle vendors with the amount that have applied.
Well, you get a lot of probably people that have real jobs, so to speak, and this is additional income.
Yeah.
I know there's 2 or 3 others that may kind of close overlap, but they're different styles. Like last year, I remember you had 2 bread vendors.
Right.
Our daily bread, zucchini bread or whatever, and like this Great Harvest, I think it was called.
Great Harvest. They're great. They're off Magnolia. We're trying to convince them to come to Burleson as a permanent.
Well, we bought from both.
Yeah.
And they're wonderful bread.
Yeah, they have a brick and mortar over there in Fort Worth. He's real good. Wild Roots Bakery. They're out of Itasca, Texas. So she has a little bit of a drive in the mornings, but her whole focus is just sourdough, where Great Harvest has one sourdough, and then they do like the chocolate chip and everything a little bit different.
Yeah, I think they had it like an Italian bread.
So they have everybody has a different style, and that's always been the way I like to keep it.
Yeah. All right, and Brad Griffin says, thank you. There's a reason I prompted that question. He may have something in mind. I don't you never know with this guy. Anyway, so when you talk about expanding, what would you want to have at the farmers market that you don't have currently right now?
More farmers would be ideal.
Okay, but how many farmers do you want to? They're probably all selling roughly the same thing. I mean, they're not here to sell.
I would
cotton,
ideally like another one so I could have competition of my own.
maybe at the other end,
Right?
yeah, at the other end of the spot because you got that corner spot and you got a lot going on.
I'd ideally like one more of those. That would help quite a bit. We had one previously, but she retired.
I remember.
Yeah, Nelda. She was in her 80s. She had enough. She did it for so many years.
Right.
Jams, jellies. Looking for a tea person right now. Loose leaf tea. I don't have anybody who does that. I had one last year.
You had a Black Rifle coffee, I believe it was, or some coffee.
Whiskey morning coffee.
A whiskey morning coffee. I remember coffee.
I have
vendor.
whiskey morning coffee this year, and then there's another one that does. They get their beans from a different area. And it's I can't remember. Rodeo coffee.
Rodeo coffee. That's it.
Yeah.
There's an R in it. They gave me their card last time I was there.
Yeah, that one's real good too. So say they do something just a little bit different. So whiskey morning, they do it all in whiskey barrels, and he actually has a bourbon distillery that they use those whiskey barrels from. So he kind of kills two birds with one stone there.
Well, one of my sponsors on the next round might be interested in setting up a booth. I'll point it out to you when we go to the next round of ads. But, on that note, alcohol, you ever see like having a beer or distillery, like giving out samples at your place or selling beer or whatever?
So have you seen the kombucha guy? Have you?
The tea person?
It's a fermented tea.
Fermented tea. Okay, yeah.
So right now he's working on doing mead, which is a honey-based wine, and wine and a hard cider. But I've got to get approval from city because it's city property.
Right. Well, I was thinking somebody like Lost Oak might want to.
That would be cool too. Yeah.
But it is possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So
especially on the date nights, how cool would that be to be able to walk around with a glass of wine?
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that really would be.
You're at the music and you're strolling and yeah.
And I doubt people are going to get hammered at the farmer's market. I mean, that's not what you go there for.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. I don't. You don't want to have like too rowdy a crowd, but that's not the place for it. Farmers market is not a place for some dump to advertise, but it's going to be a little class, nice. And I hope you can make that work.
Yeah,
that'd be all right. But anyway, they there's a couple of things I'd like to see also. Now you have butchered meat.
I do.
Yeah. Would you like to see another butcher or something similar to that?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. You don't want that competition.
Yeah, but it would help. I wouldn't be against it.
Well, it's kind of like the idea of the big shopping malls used to have. You have like 2 or 3 anchors. You're the anchor of the farmers market. And if you have a couple of them, even if you're selling pretty similar products, people know that they're going to have choices. They might make the drive.
And people have their taste. They could say, I really love the watermelon from Chaz, or I really love the cantaloupe from Joe, or whatever the case.
I'd like to see that. As far as like established businesses that want to have like little pop-ups, I'm just throwing this off the top of my head, like Fresco's. Would they be welcome there with a booth to sell some of their stuff? Or?
They would on certain situations. So again, we don't want to overpollute. I would say like date nights or something like that. They could pass out flyers.
But you don't see like having like a space there. They're selling enchiladas or whatever.
I mean, that's an option. That's a thought.
Well,
but if they were just advertising for themselves, I wouldn't just put one booth space for just that.
Well, I'm going to run through these ads because there's a couple of them that are in the second round that might be interested or interesting to have out there. So, if you will, Taylor, our place, our place. I'm sure you've been there multiple times. I'd like to see him have a spot out there. Just,
that'd be cool.
Well, I don't know what they do. Sell that chicken fried steak, I guess. I mean, because everybody likes that. Or maybe have some sort of publicity.
Pancakes in the morning.
Oh, my. Yes.
We're going to have some cooking classes this year, too.
On the premises?
On the premises.
Well, that'd be nice, really.
Yeah.
Who's conducting those?
Steve, the one who does the Santa during the.
Oh yes,
yeah. Steve Jansen. Yes.
Yeah. How about that? Yeah. I've seen him on Facebook, and he does a lot of his recipes.
Yeah,
and all
that's
this
what
on
got
Facebook.
my idea. I'm like, hey, you want to come try this?
Well,
out?
you picked up the right guy, and he's a very nice man.
Yeah.
Really is. I'm glad you have him on board. And Otto, I could just see him walking around passing out cards and whatnot because he's just such a character. But he's been a very good friend personally to me and to the show. When I was ill about a month ago with COVID, he helped me with the best COVID cure there is, tin cup whiskey. But anyway,
Yeah, Otto's a great guy.
yeah, so that helped. Anyway, and this is one I was thinking might be interested in someone you do wild cigar.
Oh, that might be.
He's not going to be out there selling drinks, but I could see Chris doing this very easily out there with cigars.
That's not a bad idea at all.
Yeah, would that would kind of fit? I'll mention it to him.
Yeah.
Because he has a very nice place. You ever been in it yet?
I haven't.
Well, you need to drop by. You a cigar smoker?
No.
Well, they also have a full service bar as well. Very nice stuff. It is, decent place to go have a smoke, have a drink, watch the ball game. It has the TV going, not loud if at all. I mean, and the music's quiet in the background, so it's a place.
Chill
Yeah, it's a place you can take Miss Shelby and not worry about the crowd. It's a really nice place. I've been there a couple of times, 3 times maybe, and has a big humidor, and I could just see him taking a space out there. I may just contact him and have him contact you.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because that would work really well for him, and it'd be a very diverse thing, right? But Wild Cigar and Culture has been on board with me for about 1.5 years now, and it's been great. Also, thank you to Antonio Basalo, Proactive Payment Solutions, proactivepaymentsolution.com. He does point of sales operations. Probably many of your people do that. So when you're buying stuff there, it's not, some people it's all cash and it's fine, but some you can use your card, debit, or whatever. He sets those up for you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and he'll give you the right program with the right fees and all this other business. So I would not doubt that would be good. I want to ask about it after I'm done with these ads. I want to ask about service-oriented businesses that what they can do with farmers market. But proactivepaymentsolutions.com. Also, thank you to Payne Beagles Technology Solutions, beaglestech.com at 817-944-3572. He makes your home a smart home, and he'll help you with your computer data management and migrate your data from one to another. And we could have used him about it 30 minutes ago, right, Taylor? Yeah. So anyway, he also does aerial videography. He has the drones and he do the aerial videography. So if you were ever wanting to make like a spot of some sort of an advertising spot and you wanted like an aerial view, he'll set you up with that. He can do it. And also, Tiffany Griffin, of course, at locallifetx.com. She was on a couple of weeks ago where she announced her engagement. Well, people already knew, but she's now engaged. So good for her.
Cool.
She picked the right guy. He's a good guy. Local Life magazine will be out. Let's see, today's 17th. It'll be out in a couple of weeks, but it's already out. 30,000 homes, 110,000 people.
That and Burleson now are about the only two I look at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm advertising there, and I get people to call me from it. So, and it works. So I can endorse it.
I like the new layout. She changed.
Oh yeah, yeah. I like it because it helps my old eyes. Yeah, but I do like it. I think it allows for bigger ads, and also bigger, not just bigger font, but it can also
bigger impact.
Yeah, I like it. It's really nice, and she's very happy with it. And also Burleson Radio, Live 365. I just revamped it because I was trying to be, I think, all things to all people on the radio station. So it had an extremely wide playlist, and so I just kind of narrowed it down to classic American stuff from the 50s and up to date, and blues and jazz related stuff. And, I don't know, I went for a different atmosphere, I guess, as opposed to here's all this stuff. I'm just like, I cut it down by, I'd say almost 70%. And now I've got more Texas oriented music, stuff like that. Anyway, so when we're talking about businesses that aren't selling a product but a service, let's say like a couple of my sponsors who do services, Rex or Antonio or Payne or somebody like that, would that be something you're looking for?
So I've helped businesses grow in that way. That's not something I'm going to put in there every week, but once a month, twice a month, I don't have a problem with it. I'm happy for them to get the word out and them know. Is it related to farmers market? No, but for me, I'm more of a community guy. Does it help that guy's business get a kickstart, or he might really be in need for some leads right now? I'm all for that.
Well, I can see, for example, Antonio coming by and talking to some of your customers, not just people, well, not just customers attending it, but some of your clients, if you will, who need point of sales operations. I could see Payne coming out and talking to them about smart homes. Kimmy with the Optavia said, you put that down. Let me tell you about your diet. Yeah. That wouldn't be so good. But no, she wouldn't do that. She's not like that at all. She's no, diet fanatic, but I could see that. So how would they contact? Just the same
Just
process?
same way, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like. But what kind of space would they get? Just a
10 by 10.
10 by 10.
Yeah.
So they could set up a table. They could set up a sign if they have it.
We do have a new requirement this year. Well, not so much a requirement anymore, but a recommendation of white tents. So we are going for a different look on the market this year. So you should see a little bit of change. We feel like that's also going to help you stop at each booth instead of knowing, hey, the tamales are in the red tent. So now you got to find the tamales. So.
Well, as we were speaking about my client or my sponsor, Antonio, he says he loves his farmer's market, and he's going to maybe come by and throw. What about somebody who just wants to come and hand out cards?
I'm all for that.
Okay, so I mean, they don't really need to.
As long as it's not a pushy,
Oh no, these guys aren't pushy. They're not going to come and say, "Here, take a card." They just come by, "Hey, how you doing? Here's a card if you ever need something." So yeah,
it's for the community. I mean, that's what it's in place for.
Right, and your friend Shelby, this is the 10 years friend. She says, we love farmers that specialize in certain items, things like herbs, all types of mushrooms, and even some who curates the seed pots so people purchase and grow their own. And also Sherry Step Scott says Steven Jansen should sell those pies out there because he'd probably make pretty good money. So basically, if so let's say that somebody sponsored the show, walks by and says, "Here, this is my business." You don't have a problem with that?
Not at all.
Okay, good. They don't. So they don't necessarily.
Now, if you're walking, I don't know if you've ever seen the guys that'll walk around Walmart and kind of come up to you with a basket full of baked goods or something like that. I'm against that.
Yeah, right.
That's taken away from everybody else. Fundraisers walking through, which I've had without permission. I'm against that. Hey, tell me you're coming. Well, we'll make a deal.
And you've had nonprofits out there, but
I don't have a problem doing that. But when you have like 10 kids saying, "Hey, buy this," to everybody walking down the aisle, we want to kind of control that and scale it back a little bit to where, hey, you can have a booth. We'll get you out there. We'll work you in. It might not be right away because we're stacked right now, but we'll work it.
I haven't really encountered that in your place at least in the last season.
It's maybe happened a handful of times.
Yeah, most of the time I walk through there, and and you see all these people, old friends, old city acquaintances and whatnot, and it's very friendly. But I've never had anybody come up and try to push a product on me, and I haven't had many people, if any. I don't remember ever going down there and feeling like I'm being at a carnival barking competition where people, "Hey, come on in," you walk by and you take a look and they say, "Hey, what can we do for you?" or whatever. But they're not like dragging you in, with and hassling you as you walk down. I never felt like I was being heckled or whatever by your clients.
Yeah,
because they were just
that's good. I'm glad that doesn't have that vibe because
no vibe at all like that.
You go to the stock show and the guy selling the knives or the slap chop or whatever that you don't need. Hey, come here, check this out.
Right? The slap chop. I sell those commercials, but they don't hassle you, and they just it's almost like they're sitting in their chairs, and if you walk up to their booth, hey, let's talk, but they're not barking at you like you're at the state fair or something like that. And that's one reason I like it is I never feel pressured by anybody to buy anything. I don't feel like I'm not getting a hard sell.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. It's a very relaxed atmosphere. So if you're listening to this, you can tell your friends, I bring cash because you're going to spend it, but you're not going to feel like you were pressured into buy anything. And that's a good thing. So on a nonprofits, and I'm sure the sign-up situation's roughly the same, but there's a lot of nonprofits in Burleson.
Sign-up is the same. The fee is different, obviously, because they're nonprofit. So to be a vendor on the regular every day that collects profit, that's $40, and the nonprofits are $25.
Okay.
And
so it's only $40 for a business,
correct?
For a spot. For 5, is this per week? I assume
this is per week.
All right, and
we cover all your advertising,
right?
All the signage, everything. We've got another big radio ad out with the ranch and Hank FM and all that. Yeah. So we cover all that. We advertise the heck out of it.
I bet.
We get anywhere from 10 to 15,000 people looking at the lineup on Friday that we post to a date night. We had almost 50,000 people look at that.
Good grief.
Yeah, it was.
I'd love to have those kind of numbers. So,
we were quite impressed.
Yeah.
And that was all organic. I mean, it was just people excited about it. So.
Well, for obvious reasons, but just to finish up on the nonprofits, I mean, Burleson is blessed actually, with a lot of people that are doing a lot of things for a lot of different causes. Do you get kind of overwhelmed by some of that?
Not so much. We have the Center for ASD. They come out.
We'll have them on the show a week from Monday on the 28th. Lisa and Bianca Lowry are going to be here.
Harvest House comes out. They have a twice a month commitment. We have Jessica at Fitability
TX.
Yeah, she's come out. I haven't had too many more approach me. We try to stick away so much from fundraisers because fundraisers feel like they're nonprofit, but we try to stick away from that because fundraisers will want to do bake sales or anything like that, and that takes away from zucchini bread, or if they're selling the same thing.
So as far as like the nonprofits, they're really there to try to gain attention to the cause more than raise money. And that's a good thing. I understand that. You don't want to get the customers that are coming out to the market feel conflicted. Well, I really like this zucchini bread, but this is for some good cause.
Absolutely.
So I would say you're got that approach down right. Most of the people that I know of that do the nonprofits are there to make sure that hey, we got this out here. Maybe we're gonna have like Next Step Women's Center have their walkathon in late April, and they may want to let people know about that, or maybe sign up people for that, or maybe we talk about the ASD. They're coming in like on our show, and they'll come in and maybe talk about, hey, we got a fundraiser coming in late April or mid-April, I believe, and you could participate in that. But as far as like selling products, I get it.
Yeah.
So,
I believe Harvest House, most of last year, they were having a car raffle for Honda. They were passing out raffle tickets or selling items to sponsor for the raffle tickets.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I may contact one that I'm really fond of that's been on the show several times, Next Step Women's Center, and see if they'd be interested.
We'd love to have them.
Well, they do a lot of good things for the community, and they could probably use this, not just more publicity, but also let people know that the reach of their services, it's much greater than most people might think. Because when I first encountered with them, I was very impressed with what they do. Is a whole lot more than just holding somebody's hand and counseling them they're going through a bad situation or something, or a tough one. They do a whole lot more. And so anyway, that's kind of off to the side. So you said about some special events. What you have 4? You say you're trying to schedule?
Yeah, so we'll have 4. We are positive that one of them will be in June. We determine all these dates again based on what the city is up against. And then we'll have the holiday markets again, November and December. Those dates are to be determined.
How did that work out, those holiday markets?
This was the second year, and it was great. The Christmas market, we had over 15 vendors sell out.
Wow.
It was huge. The market goes to 1. People were leaving at 10:30, 11. Vendors were already done. They had already sold all, and they brought extra and already sold it all out.
Yeah. I unfortunately, I didn't make that one, but I asked later a couple of people that did, and they said it was really, really nice.
Yeah, and we had a great collab with the city too. They had carriage rides, and they got the Grinch out there. We had Santa out there as well. Was
it Steven Jansen?
Yeah, Steven. Yeah,
he's the go-to Santa in this area. Yeah, it's funny.
But it was festive, and people liked it, and it was a good time.
Well, I bet it is. I don't know if you thought about this, but you ever thought about having like little carnival rides and stuff like that?
No,
you're
not
going
out of space.
Yeah, well, if you ever get more space, have like a little Ferris wheel for the kiddies, or a little petting zoo or something like that.
That'd be cool.
If you ever get more space. Which
for now, they're stuck with cornhole and chess and foosball.
Yeah,
on the plaza.
Yeah, but I just thought that'd be interesting to have something like that. But that maybe just one more thing, just. You don't want to deal with all of that, because I'm sure it's the night before one of these events, you're up pretty late because there are a lot of last minute details.
I've done it so long that I don't really get stressed out that much anymore on it. Several years back I would, but now it's just second nature. 4 in the morning, pop up, and just ready to go and get there early and kick butt.
Yeah, and 4 in the morning. Oh yeah, I don't like getting up at 8. But anyway, so as far as Walnut Creek, what are you selling this year?
We've got all our beef, grass-fed beef, all natural chicken, pork, and all our vegetables, all our seasonal vegetables. We're excited to get started back off.
Well, I have a cousin that's in the cattle industry, and it's pretty tough, you know, because of the markets and the inflation and, you know.
Plastics through the roof.
Yeah, everything. He doesn't process, he raises and then sells it. But has that affected your outfit?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of, so your costs have been impacted by all this inflation and whatever else.
We have not had to raise costs yet. So we did have to do away with our free delivery. We are having a charge delivery. We were coming to Burleson. It was no charge, and now it's like $5 just to cover some fuel, which I think we end up using more fuel than.
Oh, sure you do.
But it's all based on mileage and everything. But that was the only thing we had to eliminate was the free deliveries that we were doing.
Well, see, I'm not really familiar with that aspect of your business as much. So at Walnut Creek, let's say I wanted some beef or wanted some of your produce, I could get online and order it, and then you bring it to my house
Next day. Sometimes same day. Sometimes we're faster than Amazon.
What's the? Well, it's fine. I mean, it's probably better.
Yeah.
What's the website address for that?
WalnutCreekFarmTexas.com.
WalnutCreekFarmTexas.com. Wow, I bet Miss Shelby's going to put this in the.
I'm sure she's already ahead of us there.
Yeah, but that really is amazing. I didn't, I knew that you had retail outlets, but I was envisioning people going to your farm and buying it.
We have a butcher on. We do have a butcher on site now. We were able to get somebody, so we cut 3 days a week fresh, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Obviously, the Friday stuff comes out for Saturday, which is exciting if you want to, grab some ribeyes or some pork chops or chicken breast and grill out this weekend. We've got that fresh for you. You don't have to thaw it out. It's already been cut. So we have all that aspect. Website's updated every single day. I have somebody just dedicated to that.
Yeah. Well, that's handy.
Yeah.
So where exactly is this space that people can go to if they want to go to it?
So right now we're not open for walk-in because of the online sales are actually more than what the walk-in sales are. So we're having to put our focus to that, where the walk-in sales, just people casually scrolling and everything. But we are opening the store back up in June, and that's in Alvarado.
Yeah. So, but I did not know. I guess I feel kind of embarrassed. I did not know that you had this kind of delivery, kind of like Schwann's, if you remember that outfit. Yeah, similar to that. A lot of country folks use that. And that'd be pretty handy.
Yeah, you can now buy whole cows, half cows, and sides of beef from us. That was a new thing we rolled out.
Do you have like a locker system?
Last year, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So they're all dry aged Black Angus beef. So that was
and this is your cattle that you're, this is your cattle you raise.
We have 50 acres out there in Alvarado.
Okay. And you have like a feedlot of sorts and
all grass fed.
All grass fed.
Feedlots, grain and everything.
Yeah, but you're all, what's the difference in quality?
Not so, when you get in grain and corn, they've got the modifiers in there and all that stuff that's not good for you.
Yeah.
Grass fed is always better. These cows eat nothing but vegetables. I mean, sometimes they eat better than we do.
Sure. Yeah.
So all the excess vegetables we have at the end of the week, they go to them as well, or at the end of the day.
And as we speak, Shelby Forster puts www.walnutcreekfarmtexas.com. Very, very supportive.
She's very great.
Did y'all meet through this business?
We actually did. She actually used to work for us.
Okay.
Many, many moons ago.
Well, that's how my wife and I met many, many years ago. We also met, we both worked together back in the 80s, and I saw her across the office, and the lights dimmed, and it was just her. Well, something like that. Anyway, she'll tell you different, but it's... That's interesting, though. I did not know the scope of your business. I knew that you produced everything you sold at the market, and I knew people could get it outside of Saturday mornings, but I did not know it was quite this convenient.
We also service Burleson ISD for all their produce, too.
Really? You grow that much?
All their children. There's supplements on that. So, like apples and everything, those come out of Washington, oranges. But like the lettuce, tomatoes, the local stuff comes from us.
How many people work at this operation?
We are up to 20 right now.
Well, I remember many years ago, one of the board members wanted to have local food. Stacy Eisner. I don't know if you dealt with her personally, but she's well-known community citizen, one of these people that take care of Burleson. And she and I were talking about that, and she wanted to have local produce in the schools. And I guess they made it happen.
It was actually I'll keep it short, but it was Michelle Obama actually put it in that each kid get something farm fresh each day, and that's kind of where that really took off for us.
Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
The real president. I guess, I don't know. How long have you been doing it with BISD?
This will be our 5th year.
So how many acres do you have under plant for all these vegetables and such?
Right now we've got 25 under plant, and then another 25 were for the cattle.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And you have a lot of people working it, though.
Yeah.
One last thing. What do y'all do about inclement weather when you have, like, a Saturday morning, the weather's bad or whatever? Is there a way to postpone it, or is that's just unfortunate?
It is unfortunate. I fortunately will not do another one in the rain. I lost iPads and tents and all sorts of fun stuff in years past, so it's not worth it. We do have the option to flop to Friday night, which would be a date night, or Sunday morning. And we've done that in the past. We haven't had to do it too much. If it's light rain, you'll see us out there. If it's coming in sideways, it's not worth it.
I thought you had a Cleburne market on Sundays.
We did. We do have a Cleburne market. We haven't kicked off that yet for this year, so we're still in talks. Might be a once a month thing.
Well,
I was burning the candle at both ends there.
Yeah, I bet you were.
7 days a week.
I would imagine.
Need to spend time with Mama at home.
And there's a couple of yahoos right there, Jonathan Cook and Ryan Richardson, another board member. I guess they're just being silly. But anyway, doing it on a Sunday morning, I could see people before or after church.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of churches around that very area. You can walk after services. I could just walk over there and pick up some for lunch or something like that.
Grab your groceries for the week and head on home.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to kind of sum some of this up for the people. I guess you met Shelby when she was 17. Is that what she says? Okay. You didn't marry her at 17?
No.
Okay, good. Well, of course, my mother got married at a very young age, but there you are. She also says, you need to be home at least once a week, please. Well, that's all right. Anyway, to kind of sum all this up, if a vendor's interested, they need to fill out the form.
Absolutely.
And hope for the best, basically.
Real quick on that.
Oh, yeah.
I might not respond instantly.
Oh, sure.
I see it. I've got a little note that'll send you, if you send me a message on Facebook, it's an 8 to 10 day response. So if you don't get a quick response from me, it's not that I haven't seen it. I'm balancing in between.
Well, and let's say that you have all your spots full, but somebody gets on there and says, and has a unique product that you don't have, and there's nothing really even real close to it. Does that put them at the head of the line?
It does, and we'll work them into the following week.
Okay. So if I don't know what kind of product we're talking about off the top of my head, but, let's say they were selling something that you don't have.
Right.
All right. Then they're going to get a whole lot more priority than somebody who's already selling more or less something what somebody else is doing.
And nonprofits have priority too. I'd like to at least have 2 per market.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have a couple of my friends contact you and just say, and let y'all work out the details. But
absolutely.
But I like that too. I really do, because I walk by, and besides just the commerce, I like the community aspect of supporting our friends in these endeavors. Okay. And so if you're doing business, like you want to publicize your business, going through the crowd and passing out cards is allowable as long as you're not obnoxious about it.
Absolutely.
And you're not selling stuff with it.
Right.
It's basically just, here's my card, call me if you need me at another time. But you're not looking for somebody to come in trying to hassle people or sell them something on the spot.
Right. You need a space if you want to sell something.
Yeah. And so that, as far as, we're going to be getting into the political season next October. You want to allow political candidates coming on?
So that's actually in the contract this year that we're no longer allowed to have political candidates.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Just
keeps us kind of in the neutral zone.
Yeah, that's good.
Have everything.
So local candidates, even if they're running for like state office or whatever else, they're going to have to find another venue.
Yeah, they will.
Well, I'm not upset with that. I mean, it's just one less thing to, politics can get pretty tense.
Yeah.
And we don't need that in our community anymore. And let's see, is there any other questions off the top of my head? It starts April 2nd.
April 2nd. We're going to run through October. I'm keeping it October vague. I don't know when BTX is coming in. That's usually the one that kicks me out. So
BTX.
the Brewfest.
Oh, yeah. Right. Of course.
So they'll have that Saturday, and that'll be usually the last one.
So like the Friday night might be the last one, something like that.
And then we'll always have the holiday markets. Those are big hits. They're just great if you're starting out or if you want to start out. We've got great vendors coming this year. So
well, I look forward to it. I'm going to run through the sponsors real quick and then give you the last word. So thank you, Daniel, for your help and sponsorship at CrossFit Burleson. I'm sure he and his kids and Amber, his wife, will be out there, and they like to do these things and be great. Thank you to Shandy. I've seen her several times. Shandy's dogs.
Shandy's a great.
Oh yeah, both she and Daniel are original sponsors, and I really appreciate that.
I walked up to her and said, "You don't know me, but I know you through Facebook."
Yeah, well, she does an 817 page, and it's very helpful. And I know she's advertised your event there. So thank you, Shandy, for all you do, and hope you're doing well. Thank you to Rex at the Russell Wealth Group, myfinancialbox.com, the mayor of Egan. So be careful driving through Egan, and notorious police state under their mayor. So myfinancialbox.com, hit the link and get to know him. Thank you to Kimmy over at Optavia, 817-789-1622 for not just weight loss, but weight maintenance and lifestyle. Thank you to Gayla Moores at Southern Gym over at the top of the Windmiller building. Very sweet lady. I've gotten to know her. We go to church together, and also got to know her through this business in the BNI, and she does really good work. So I can highly endorse her for repairs, for design, for inventory, the whole thing. Also, we know Michelle Lumfrey over at Hotworks. Like I said, several of our mutual friends at BNI are clients of hers, and they just say it's wonderful because you get a really good workout, not as long a time. It's not like CrossFit. CrossFit's, it's throwing some iron around, and this is more like yoga and maybe Peloton and stuff like that.
Cool.
So under an infrared system.
Yeah.
All right. So it really works. Also, thank you to Otto. Also, everybody knows Otto at Our Place Highway, and Ellsbury's been there since 1986, and I go there all the time. This is where I take potential sponsors and some of the friends from that networking group because it's always a relaxed place to do business. Thank you to Chris. I want to talk to him about maybe contacting you.
Absolutely.
See if we can get a booth about cigars.
That'd be cool.
And maybe under the table, he'll have some of his Balcones whiskey. I don't know. No, he won't do that. But I'll talk to him about that. Chris is doing a really good business. He's very, very busy over at Cigar and Culture over on the Windmiller building right next to Doughboy Donuts. So there you are. Thank you to Antonio, PracticePaymentSolutions.com. He put his website in here. So if you have clients that want to get away from doing strictly cash, or they want to be able to take point of sales, he's the guy to set you up with that, and he'll know how to do it. PracticePaymentSolution.com. We're going to have him on the show. Antonio, I know we've been talking about it. I'm going to talk to Taylor after this show to find a good time because he's a working man. It's hard for him to make during the day.
Yeah.
Same with Payne over at BeaglesTech.com. He can help you with not just making your home a smart home, but also the aerial videography through the drones. And so if you're a contractor, you're a real estate person, maybe you work for an insurance company, maybe you're looking to do some advertising, whatnot, and he can do some aerial photography for you. And you can hook up a Taylor with all the rest. And thank you to Tiffany over Local Life. I really do like this magazine. It's good articles, good hometown feel to it. And she's on about every 6 weeks, to talk about businesses. And sometimes she'll bring sponsors or clients, rather, some of our advertisers on the show, and we'll just visit about various things about Burleson business and whatnot. So Local Life Magazine, it's available right now. It's on the website, locallifetx.com, and also Live 365, Burleson Radio. Check out the new format. I think you'll like it, particularly people that say, of a more seasoned generation, shall we say. Not this young lad that's sitting across from me here, but anyway, I don't know. So, Chaz, you have the last word. Tell us what you want to know about what's going on.
So come out and see us this season. We're excited. Come get your groceries. Don't shop on Friday night. Come shop on Saturday morning. Spend your money locally. And we look forward to it. Yeah. It's going to be a great year.
Jessica Valley Dream says I love shopping and being at the farmer's market. Also, Andrew Nolan is watching. He's a candidate for office.
Yeah, I know Andrew.
You know Andy?
Yeah.
Okay. He was on the show about 3 weeks ago, roughly, and he lives about 4 houses down from me.
So he's good buddies with the Twisted Texan, the guy who does the burritos, and I know him through him.
Well, he has my endorsement, if that means anything, for Justice of the Peace. He'll do a great job.
I think he's in a runoff right now, isn't he?
Yeah, and I'm not saying anything about his his opponent because I don't know him. I'm sure he's a fine man. I don't have any issues, of course, but Andy's my neighbor.
Yeah. Oh,
and
cool.
I've gotten to know him, and so I trust him. So there you are. Anyway, next, here's kind of upcoming schedule. On Monday, the 21st, I'm going to have a young woman that does those safe spaces you see at QT. You've seen the safe space signs, and they're all over the place. And I was on a train Tuesday, the DART train. I was going to visit a friend, and we were going to move some furniture. And I like to use the DART train rather than drive. And there was a safe space sign there as well. So we were talking about the safe space. Next week is Safe Space Week. And there you are. On Tuesday, I got Victoria Johnson. Talk about the bonds that are being discussed and other city business. 24th is kind of in the air right now because I have an appointment and so does Taylor. So we'll get back to you on that. But I have on the 28th, I have Lisa Boltinghouse, Bianca Lowry on for ASD. The 29th, I have the mayor, Chris Fletcher, will be on. We can talk about city business, the bond issue that's being discussed, things like that. And then on 31st, I have probably somebody Mary Slaney and Joni Van Noy.
Very, very good reps of Burleson.
Yes, they are. So I got a really full month, and I'm looking forward to it. I really am. So thank you, Chaz. I appreciate not just for having us on or you on my show, but I appreciate what you do for the community. It's a great thing. And we'll see y'all April 2nd, guys.
Sounds good.